So Braxton.
Hello, hey.
Oh,
No, Ryan, we got to start with a bang because we're tired and we're recording this late, and it's currently 9:03 on Monday night, 11/11,
yeah, we've been
2019,
having
Skyrim's
some.
anniversary,
Oh
and we
no.
post this tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking of Skyrim, we know how much Braxton loves it.
I don't honestly, I don't know if I love it or hate it at this point. I loved it when when it came out and I was playing on my large screen CRT
Love to
TV
hate
that
it.
probably weighed a ton.
Yeah,
And now I just mod it.
I loved it when I first played it, and I love it for about the first day after I mod it, and then I begin to realize how little Bethesda does with it, and how much of it is just my mods.
Yeah, I mean, talk about current events. Bethesda, how they have fallen, or
Oh,
rather, we have realized how great they weren't.
I mean, all the big companies are falling. Blizzard's going down. Bethesda's going down. You
Well, the
name
thing
it.
to keep in mind is the people who made your games aren't this conglomerate. It's
Yeah.
not Blizzard. It's not Bethesda. It's whoever worked on it.
And
at
most
that
of the people
time.
who
And
worked on those games aren't there anymore.
yeah, see Bungie, for example. I mean, they're doing some interesting things with Destiny 2 right now.
They are.
But, I mean, you think about ODST and Halo 3 and Halo 2 matchmaking. Like, things change.
I'm proud of them though for stepping away from Activision.
Yeah, I'm proud of them too. But you know who I'm more proud of and who these games are made for?
The players.
The players.
Speaking of players, you know that I'm a ladies man. You know that, right?
Holy shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
you
careful
know.
about saying that now.
I play the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I came prepared for today. I wrote up a whole bunch of notes on how to, get women, play the field, just all about being a player. I started putting a whole bunch of Playboy Cardi into my playlist.
This is not what I meant when I said player.
I feel like we got to be a little more direct when we have these conversations. Because last time when I got all prepared for world building and whatnot, and
yeah, I know you brought your hammer and nails and all that good stuff. It's great. Enthusiasm is wonderful, but
well, I guess I'll put away my Little Wayne CDs.
Yeah, if you have any notes on how to be a great player in D&D, that'd be awesome.
I do I do have some stuff there. But
you've done it like 3 times.
I've been a player 4 times now. I'll have you know.
JD would beg to differ if you could hear.
Do you hear it?
Background there? Yeah, just slightly. I'm sure it'll come out in the mix.
Yeah, he's over there meowing up a storm. I don't know what he's meowing at. Me
neither. But both me and you, for the first time, got to be players together.
Do you want me to go find what this cat's up
to? I mean, you can.
Hold on.
A waffle. All right. Yeah, his cat's very vocal, and I feel like he facilitates it because he talks to it all the time, which, I mean, who's not going to talk to their cat? But
oh my God,
it's a loud boy.
You would not believe. I walked out there, and my cat was standing on top of a bookshelf, meowing in the air. I think he became possessed. Bookshelf. Yeah, I think it was a ghost or something. I don't know what happened.
But ghosts.
Yeah, player, and it was fun. It was fun being a player together.
Well, I mean, what were your initial thoughts? I mean, I guess not just with being a player with me. I feel like I dropped the ball in the beginning of the session because it took me a second to get into my character.
No, I mean, it happens. I think your first time as a character, it takes a while to get into the dynamic of everybody anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. And, I mean, ways that I feel... Because I've gone through theater, we've talked about this before. The best ways to get to know a character is to live and think as them even before you start the session. Because if your first entry into that character is that session, the first time you've thought about them, you're going to have some, you got some boots that, they kind of cut into your heel a little bit. You got to wear it a little bit.
Yeah, you got to get in their heads.
Yeah, precisely. But, I mean, how did you do that for this character?
So I was kind of an evil kind of character.
See, I said, hey, you're sinister, and you go, no.
I mean, it's more so that he had his own belief system. He cared pretty much only about himself and his brother, which so happened to be Braxton. And it was a thirst for power, mainly necromantic power. That's how it goes with most evil people. They want to raise the dead and rule the world. And so to do that, I mean, I recently watched Joker, so I was kind of I was using that as some inspiration. Just wanted to watch the world burn, but at the same time, I mean, I guess this is one of my notes actually, and it's good to bring it up now. When you're playing an evil character, let's say you're the only evil character, which I think I was. I don't think you were considered evil.
I was true neutral, so I could have sided with you or our party member. It could have gone either way.
Yeah, so when you're playing an evil character, I mean, you still gotta. You're part of a party, you know. You're not gonna. It's you gotta be a team player regardless, even if you're being an evil player.
I mean, you play evil characters to very, very true to who they are in the campaign because they aren't attached to a party with other values and they are not real people. They're part of your story. So you're used to going full crazy, balls to the wall. You're used to that.
Yeah, but when you're with people, you've got to remember you're playing a game. You don't want to ruin their fun.
I think you did really well with being off and on it. I don't know if my conversations swayed you a bit, but for Ryan, okay, yeah, we'll get into that farther down the line, I think. But, off the bat, we were doing a one-shot to preface this, and Daniel, who we've mentioned time and time again,
great dude,
led it this time. Great dude. He's been in Ryan's creative writing classes, and it definitely shows because with the characters he wrote, they weren't ridiculously in-depth, but you could tell there was thought and there was options. It wasn't just, this is how you play this character. It was great. I loved that.
It gave you some leeway with it.
Yeah, and, you were maybe more sinister, but you cared about me as well. So if something put you in a situation between me and you, that gave you the room to act as a player and take that lead, which a great thing for you to do is if you get a character supplied to you like that, if it's a pre-made one, dissect it, look at all of those little character traits, and if something tugs on that character trait, follow it.
Yeah, use your own inspiration from it or connect it to a pop culture icon that you like.
Yeah, that's a great idea. The Joker is perfect for that, though, I think.
Yeah,
really, really good idea.
I mean, even still, like, there were options where I could have sided exactly with the bad guys, and I was considering it, obviously, because that's kind of what my character wanted as well, but again, and I guess it's a little different in a one-shot to go off and, because that could have been a good ending that one of the party members leaves, go with the evil dudes, and the two of you guys leave. But thinking,
I'm not just gonna.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. But thinking about like in an actual campaign, let's say there's one evil character, one evil party member. You hear the stories where it's like, oh, there was one guy who decided to just kill all of us because he's an evil character and it's what his character would do. I think that's just being an asshole. That's not being a good. Yeah. That's not being a good RP. You got to follow the ones of your character without ruining the fun for everybody else.
I mean, what if you made a character and it got approved by everybody and you said, my character's evil, these are the things he values, can I play this? And they said yes.
Yeah, but he's got to have a reason to be with these people.
That's true. Okay, so that's something you definitely got to set up beforehand.
I guess you could say maybe he's they're using them for, a greater purpose, but even still, it shouldn't be like to kill them and ruin the party member's fun. Not necessarily the character, but the player.
What I want to stay away from during this conversation is talking about how to do other things properly. We've gone pretty in-depth about making your character what you should have done, but there's plenty of situations where none of that happens. And Ryan, let's really dive into if somebody gets away with making this character terrible and then starts getting chatted to by their party members to, hey, why are you with us? You can't just keep being evil like this. What do you do?
Yeah, I think it's already a great step. They're talking about it. That's really good.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think it's important before we continue to dive into, I think it's important to say that none of that we talk about in this podcast is meant to like call anybody out or to say there's only one way to play. I mean, we're all human. We all make different faux pas here and there. It's just going to be talking about, what to think about at the very least when you sit down at the table. We've all made mistakes. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
But I think
we don't need to dive into this too much because the solution is there. Talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it. Figure out what's the best thing. Maybe the player leaves or the character leaves or just something to deal with the current situation. But definitely communication, just like any relationship, communication's key.
Yeah, and we've entertained the thought of having characters go their separate ways due to ideals. And in a sense, it's similar to dying, though you can get that character again later. Sorry, I got some stuff in my throat. It's been a long day. I'm good. Been drinking water. But, that's always an option available to you. What I kind of wanted to start with more so is at the beginning of a session, when you've got so much room to do whatever the heck and all of you are new to a character, what can you do to help everybody else get into the mood, so to speak?
Put on some romantic
keep in mind,
music.
That is you're playing a bard. I can't, whatever that guy's name is.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That guy. Do that, except better. But I find it tough if I can't get into my character just going in dry. I'm sorry about that. What do you do if everybody else is feeling kind of the same? Without asking the DM to do something.
Right.
What can you do?
I think it's good that as a player you would notice that, first of all. I think it's, you need to be able to, if you see that someone's having an issue with RP or just seems like they're not having a fun time, and sure, the DM should help facilitate the stuff as well. But if you just, if you as a player notice that someone's not enjoying themselves, maybe do something, maybe talk with their character, communicate with them. Even if you're not feeling it too, and everyone's just kind of having a bleh moment, then maybe even just still starting a in-party conversation can liven things up a little bit. A little RP can never hurt something.
Yeah, and just to go bouncing off of pretty much Daniel's first time DMing in a long time, and your and my first time interacting as a party member, and Robin being a character that, she's probably not too comfortable with either. We were all kind of in a different spot there. I always play a freaking fantastical warlock guy. Now I'm playing though I've been DMing.
Fighter, you had a lot of stuff to figure out.
It was so fun. It was really fun. I liked it.
That's good. You're learning you don't just like warlocks.
Well, the funny thing is, all I want to do is multi-class twice with my warlock into fighting. So,
oh no,
we're back to square one. But I'm not gonna do that. But it was interesting because, Daniel did great and set up this scene for us, but we're kind of uncomfortable in these, new player socks, and we're like, brother, we have to go get your book. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think you started the conversation with us first, because I was talking to the NPC that he introduced.
Yes, I knew I wanted to start it with, and I had decided this a while ago, or as soon as I found out what the character is. I assume my brother or myself would want to follow you, and protect you, and ask what we're doing later, because you're insistent and would go somewhere. And what I'm doing now is thinking about motivations as a player, thinking about that as one of your best things. Why? Why is anything happening? Why are you doing any of this?
That's a good question.
So I started it. Yes, and I started it off with, brother, remind me again why we're going here. Kind of letting you try to give me exposition, forcing you to think as your character.
Yeah, why am I here? Yeah.
Yeah, and something not to do is to speak out of character and explain it to Braxton the player.
Yes, and that was also the tough thing, is because my wants to go as this character was secretive. I didn't want to tell you guys why I wanted to find this document. I wanted to, to raise the dead and learn the Draugr secrets.
What?
Yeah, and so I did
the whole time.
Yeah, no, that's why I went. I wanted to learn how to resurrect the dead and all this fun stuff. And so whenever he was asking me things, I was kind of putting on a front. And so there's a lot of different intertwining stuff going. That's why I said Daniel kind of gave me a little bit of a complex character, and I was excited to.
I thought you had a descent into darkness because you saw the power that was within. I didn't know you were thinking that the whole time.
No, I was always. That's why. We kind of talk a lot about the games we played, and so for a little background, there was a city, and there was these zombie creatures that had kind of some sentience to them, Draugrs. I probably butchered the pronunciation, but that's all right. And
Skyrim.
What'd you say?
Skyrim.
Draugr. I knew you said Skyrim.
Skyrim Anniversary Day.
Yeah. But I was immediately was like, yeah, let's go talk to these things. Yeah, I want to research, learn more about these creatures. You probably thought I was interested. Yeah, I was really interested.
Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah. I'm an evil guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that makes it even more interesting. Okay.
But again, as an evil character, I wasn't out to hurt the party. I just had my own secretive motives.
You were flawed and you cared for your brother.
Exactly.
That's an evil character's flaw. It's caring for something.
And I did care, and I did all I could to try to help him out and save him.
Hero, you know what your problem is. You care about that guy. And then that guy's dead, and now the hero gets strong and kills you.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Anime. Every anime ever.
Now, so I'm normally the DM, so I was thinking of some ways that players can help me out. And so now you're a new DM as well. Tell me if these things would help you this is what you think players could kind of help you out. First of all, now this won't help you, and you can't help me with this.
Shit.
Snacks.
Okay.
Food.
I can ship something to you.
By the time it gets here, it's probably not going to be good.
There's some non-perishables, canned stuff.
So if you granted, it kind of is built around some party or some player or some group. What am I saying? Some groups will kind of have food every session. They'll kind of all eat together. And a lot of times I've heard it falls upon the DM when they're there. I mean, they're already doing so much. Let's have someone else bring doing that.
But way back when in the first campaign, you did that a couple times.
I did because I wanted people to come.
I would have gone without the food.
Aw. I just know, college students, free food, they're always going to come. Another one,
about college again.
Show up on time. That's always nice. Make your DM's life easier. Show up on time, or at least let them know quite ahead of time. They're going to be a little bit of a delay. Something's coming up. It just relieves a lot of stress, at least upon me, because I always get super anxious before session. I'm always nervous no one's going to show up.
I think punctuality can be really tough for
it's
people
definitely
nowadays. Hard. Well, no, it's already hard, but you think that you've got to have punctuality for school, and some people don't even do that, and for work. Usually when people, and myself, I don't set boundaries or times for me to do things that I enjoy. I just do them. So whenever I'm playing D&D and somebody's like, hey, here's a time frame, my brain already is just like, oh, this is not school, this is not work. Sometimes stuff happens. And
definitely.
You got to use some psychology. Get them some food.
Hey. See, that's why the food comes in.
This pizza was here. It's for the 8:30 people who got here at 8:30.
Yeah, that's out.
You
Sorry.
Point to the left. That's your seat. There's no pizza slice there. You got here at 8:31.
That's a shame.
Sorry.
Like I said, again, these aren't things that you have to call me about. People are late. It happens. It's okay. These are things just to think about. To maybe if you want to make your DM's life easier. The other one is don't intentionally throw off what they've prepared. If there's this quest they toss in your face, and you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna leave the tavern. I'm not gonna find these goblins. I'm just gonna head off in the exact opposite direction because I want to screw what they created. That's kind of.
I don't think I have any players like that.
That's good. Yeah, you don't.
They've all been very take what I give them.
That's good. Great. Yeah, you guys have been like that too, and it was interesting. And I talked about this at the end of the one shot that we had. I figured that we had kind of gone off path from what Daniel had prepared, but it wasn't an intentional thing. It was just kind of the way that our dynamic ended up working out. But he did a great job at adjusting on the fly, and he even said, "Yeah, you guys kind of." I was not prepared for where you ended up, and hey, as a DM, I guess you never should. Yeah, you never know where the players are gonna head off to. But just don't, as a player, don't intentionally go the opposite direction. That's kind of an ass move.
Don't be a jerkoid.
Exactly. Most of these things that we're talking can kind of be boiled down to don't be an ass. Next one, I would say.
End of episode. Sorry, Ryan. We can stop there.
Yeah, we're done now.
Secrets out. Don't be an ass. Okay, thanks.
I would say you could. We've taught this plenty of times. But help the DM with the story, with the lore, stuff for your character. Go all out with it. That'll make again show that you care about the world. And as a player coming up, once you're in game, will make you care about the world even more. You got a reason to care for it now because you're part of it.
That's a big thing that I forget about while I'm DMing is that if they're into it, they're gonna facilitate the story. And it might go off the rails, but like Daniel did, he knew what moral situation he wanted to put us in, not a specific plot point. Again, it was a one-shot, so it's okay if you have some railroading, but he did really well in that he wanted us to have the moral dilemma that was bred into our characters however we landed, wherever
there's some
we ended
options.
up going. There was a lot of options, but it boiled down to he wants to do undead things, but loves me. I think the demon dude or devil guy wanted him to kill me and our compatriot,
which I couldn't do.
So he would have had to kill the brother he loved. For me, I grew up being a dick. Now I don't want to be a dick. So undead's not my shtick. But my dad said to protect my brother. I could have rhymed that again, but I decided not to.
Close enough.
I didn't want to say what I was going to say. But there was a lot of choices there. It was good. I enjoyed that. And we were able to facilitate by motivations and moving the plot forward that way. I didn't bring food, though.
Food would have been nice.
It means I'm a bad player now, right?
No. You could have brought food. You would be an even better player. Think about that.
Nikki brings a lot of food.
She has. Yeah, she had brought some food for me, and I appreciate it.
Quite jealous. Me off in my...
Yeah,
it's snowing a lot over here in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm actually watching a storm outside right now.
Oh, wait, I was thinking storm. I was about to say, is it snowing down there? Wow.
No.
It didn't get snow like once, and it doesn't stick.
Yeah, it's 20 degrees right now.
What?
Yeah,
what?
It's cold. 60 this morning. It's quite the cold front that came rolling on in.
I mean, it was like 20-something degrees here. That's surprising.
Hey, maybe
I got all sorts of hiccups and coughs and burps going on.
I could try scaring you. Maybe that'll help.
You can't scare me. I am stone cold.
You could also talk with your DM ahead of time. And by you could, I mean definitely talk to your DM ahead of time before you incorporate homebrew mechanics and ideas. Because I'd say 9 times out of 10, and I guess I'm maybe speaking for myself here, 9 times out of 10, I will accept most homebrew things, but I want to understand it and work them into the world first before a player just shows up and says, all right, I'm using this. Like, well, I don't even know what that is. I don't know where you got that from.
Let me tell you a story. You ready for story time?
I'd love to hear a story.
Okay, it's I don't know if it's a good story, but I grew up hanging out with one of my goodest friends, Jack Joseph Lee III, who he swears I knew of him in middle school, and if he's listening to this, he's going, Braxton, I thought we settled this. But I knew like we were acquaintances in middle school, but we really became friends in high school, and we grew up playing Dark Souls and RPGs together. But like you and I, Ryan, me and his views on when it's okay to respec your character or change weapons, we're completely different. So if he decides when he starts playing Dark Souls 2, because it just came out and we played Dark Souls 1, and now we're playing the same night, and he decides he's only going to use straight swords and whatever aspect, even if his character could properly wield an axe, he probably won't switch because no, that doesn't make sense for his character, and there's nothing in the story that makes sense for him to have swapped to it.
I like that.
Yeah, I know you do like that. You guys would probably get very much along.
I did that in my recent Dark Souls 3 playthrough. I was thinking what would work for this character after he experienced this stuff. Okay, he's going to switch outfits now because he saw this cool thing. He's using that scythe because she was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it worked really well with your stats.
Yeah, that's true. It does help.
But he won't do anything, even if there's an in-game mechanic, lore-wise, that makes sense to respect. With Rosaria, or whatever her name is.
I've seen it, but I never used it.
Yeah, that, where you can change your appearance as well. For me, I give 2 shits on a stick. I don't care. No way, no how.
2 of them.
Not 2 of them.
Wow.
I love immersion, and I'll install mods on good old Skyrim to make things prettier, but the second I stop having fun, I want to toss shit in there, and I don't care how unrealistic it is because it's a video game and it's about me having fun.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
Yeah, but I respect that, and I know
I respect it too because it is a game. You want to have fun, and I completely understand that.
Yeah, so as a player, suppress that need unless you're just playing in a game where you guys are playing modular characters. You can swap shit out because you don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah, or talk to the DM about it. Maybe it can get worked into the game. Like, for example, with Braxton, it's happened a couple of times where things weren't working out exactly, and so we were able to work it into the story and change his character in some way.
Yep. And Unearthed Arcana, I did not say the words that I meant to say, but
it sounded
Unearthed Arcana.
What he just mentioned.
Has been releasing a lot of stuff lately, and they just made some tweaks to the Warlock, though in the video that they announced with it did not mention the change they did to Warlock.
Because the ones that they did talk about, there were some pretty important changes. Sure, Warlock.
I think they talked about every class except for Warlocks.
Okay, all right, I know.
Nobody likes Warlocks except for the people that like Warlocks. Which
always getting the short end of the stick.
Short end of that stick, man.
But yeah, there's rumors that there might be like a Player's Handbook 2.0 or something coming out.
That's a problem, right?
Revamp stuff.
We're gonna be like level 13. I'm gonna be like, Ryan.
Hey, there's always next campaign.
We'll work it in somehow. But yeah, there's that new. Like Warlocks have always been able to change one spell upon level up.
Yeah,
always. But they added a level 1 or level 2 feature, which makes it so that Warlocks can change one spell every.
Yeah, a lot of the classes now have that option.
Yeah, they want people to feel less locked in.
Yeah, which I completely like. I understand that.
I do also understand that.
But
I get very overhyped when things come out.
Yeah, I'm more okay with stuff like that than the subclasses they've been releasing. I think those need some work though.
Yeah, that tentacle warlock with just I
would not like
enter the maw of whatever the hell monster that is and teleport somewhere, even in combat.
Yeah.
Like
that I would probably change how we have a casting time to it. And the invocation where you can just get any armor just by touching it, probably also give like a 30-minute casting time just so you can't just like steal anything.
Well, see, I'm homebrew. I love it. It's great. But whenever it's an official thing like that, changing it rubs me the wrong way.
But it's not official
very
yet.
Contradictory. I know, but it's made by the official guys.
Yeah, but
I'd rather not use it than tweak it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is dumb because somebody just pooped it out on a page.
It's the same thing about Unearthed Arcana. It's almost is homebrew and for a little bit because it's just the messing around until they test it out for a bit and then they tweak it and change it. So that's why I'm always split on Unearthed Arcana stuff, but I do like what the last one that they released.
That's pretty nifty. Ranger changes. I think those are pretty cool. I didn't read them.
Yes, yeah, Ranger definitely continues to need some work.
Yes, very much so. Stemming from this, being a player.
Well, we were just talking about actually the brief little thing that we had talking about to your DM and maybe even a little argument. I'd say don't argue too much with the DM. I'd say it's okay to disagree with the ruling. I think having that dialogue is very important, but up to a point, and be willing to be flexible. I think the same thing goes to the DM. To don't just be my way, the highway, jackass. Listen to the players, and the player listen to the DM, and find a middle ground or say, okay, you're right. Yeah, we'll go with that ruling. Or, and I think in the same token, also cut the DM some slack because I've made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Hannah Montana taught me that one. But I make bad calls too. But ultimately, I mean, I care about my players' enjoyment, and I'm not out to screw them over. So if I make a stupid call, I'm okay with them calling it, or, letting me know, or let me know after the game. Say, I didn't really like what you did there. So you know what? You're right. We're going to change that in the future. That's happened a couple of times in our game.
Let me get this yawn out of my face. Ugh, I heard that. Get out of there.
Making me tired.
Yeah. Well, it's 9:30 on Skyrim Day, so, it gets that way. It's 8 years old today, I think. 11,
something like that.
11. Oh, God, my thought was going away. Pull it back.
Argument with DM.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, we're good.
Got him.
So we live in a world where the stack in Magic the Gathering lives.
Okay.
Think about that frustration that you have when you're talking to your friend on the tabletop and you're playing your spell and they counter it and you counter that spell.
And like that, you can't do that.
But you don't understand how. I'm not gonna do that. You don't understand. Like, your friend just doesn't understand how the stack works, and effects don't happen because it hasn't touched the field yet, and you can't get it through his thick skull. And sometimes it's hard to Google things. And D&D
Let's go
is
hop
very
on
free-form.
Magic the Gathering Arena and see how they run it there.
That's true. So you could do that. Sometimes Google helps.
Sometimes, but again, it's that if let's say in that moment. It's a little easier to do it at a tabletop card game like that because you can literally pause the game. You're not in like a role play moment. It's a little harder to kind of step outside of whatever's going on and say, all right, guys, hang on, let's Google this real fast. Let's figure out the situation. That's usually what I'll do. If I don't know the exact ruling, I'll kind of make one up on the fly. Then I'll always check it after the fact. And if I did happen to screw up my ruling, I'll definitely either tell the players or just change it for next time to make sure it's correct.
Yeah, we had a pretty big instance of that a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, it was a really complicated situation.
Yes, that's why most times when it comes up, it is a complicated situation, and it's can be tough either way, and we can just kind of rule up on the fly, then make sure we're not screwing each other over afterwards. And I think every time it's happened up in our games, it's been more than all right. It's not like someone's like, dude, you're wrong. You're just terrible. You're stupid. And that's not good for anybody.
There are people that do that.
Yes. So I'm glad we got some good players.
I've never had anybody like that. I mean, maybe that's just because my friends, I wouldn't be friends with people like that. So
yeah, I mean, we don't play like at, game stores and stuff. That's probably be a little more common.
Yeah. Oh,
I've heard bad stories about Adventurers League stuff, so that's why I've never done it.
Well, I wouldn't want to put stuff on game stores, but
it's
sometimes.
Not just. I mean, it's not the store's fault. It's just there's just random people there. You never know what to expect.
Yeah, think about it this way: what if it's a guy that's always kicked out of every single session he's in? So he goes here.
It's like when let's say you have a lot of relationships, a lot of wives. Maybe it's eventually it's one common denominator. Maybe the problem's you, pal. Maybe you got to figure out what's going on internally before you go out again.
Yeah, you got to say, am I a good player?
Am I a good partner?
Have I listened to the Dungeon Crawl this week?
You should if you haven't. Every Tuesday at 7 a.m.
This probably would not have been a problem.
Yeah. Again, and we're going to have a full podcast on this part too. Combat. Talking about how to not make it too bogged down. But as a player, the most that you can do is to just learn the basics of how your character works and to kind of know what you're going to do before it gets to your turn.
I feel like the only way we're ever going to be able to repeat the conversation we had that one night is if we're in the middle of a podcast and it just turns into combat and we cut everything beforehand, save it for later, and then just go with combat because that was just
a good conversation.
It was, and it's out there in the ether and it exists in only our brains.
Should have hit record on it.
I think we were playing Monster Hunter or something after.
I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I just remember we were talking for like 40 minutes just talking about how to make combat interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's because I was playing a lot of Fire Emblem.
Yes. Well,
I haven't dived back into it yet. Okay, Ryan.
Yeah.
Look at your notes. Anything juicy on there?
Yeah. Speaking of notes, take some notes.
God, that one.
Yeah, if you're a player, take some notes. I mean, you don't have to if you got a memory of God, but it can be nice as a DM to if you just quickly jot down a NPC name, and then if the NPC comes back, like, hang on, I remember Johnny. I remember that guy. He helped us. We found his dog in that one town. Notes can be handy. Luckily, we have one player who takes a buttload of notes and then sends it out to everybody. And me as a DM, I definitely appreciate that because sometimes I'll forget things that I said and I'm like, oh, well, that's where that character is. Appreciate it.
He probably knows what happened better than you do.
Sometimes, yeah, especially if it's improv.
There's that one feature.
Yeah, Water. Keep in mind.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, you remember everything up to 30 days.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't take any notes. And your DM's keeping track of time like Ryan does, and he goes, "That was 31 days ago." Do you remember?
That's a shame.
Sorry.
It just left your memory bank.
Sorry, it was too close. History check.
Yeah, that's what I do a lot of times because I don't want to be an asshole and say, "Guys, you just don't know it." I'm like, okay, let's see how much you do remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of information. We've been doing a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah, but speaking of that, how do you, if you're not taking notes, to remember things and to pay attention is, you need to be able to be engaged and to take an active role in the storytelling aspect. So try to avoid using your phone or making towers out of your dice.
Okay, now that one, that's where I draw the line.
Oh, okay. All right, you're all right. You like the dice tower? You're a dice tower fan?
I think it's fun.
It can be fun, but the problem is, let's say it turns into a leaning tower of dice. That means you probably weren't paying attention that whole time.
Paying attention to the dice are part of the game.
No, they're not the active part of the game. I'm over here chatting up a storm, and then you knock over all your dice, and then you look over and go, "What happened?" Well, you know what?
I'm pulling your pinky toe here.
I'm not gonna tell you. No, I'll usually if someone is busy, because sometimes things come up with someone sends them a text or something that's important, and they didn't hear what happens. A lot of times we'll kind of rule that the character wasn't there or was just off really quick, and then someone else will have to inform them what happened.
Yeah,
that's
something like, man, why doesn't full augmented reality and VR exist yet? And,
that would be cool.
And why can't it exist solely for the purpose of Dungeons and Dragons? Do you know how cool that's going to happen one day?
Yeah, but well, that's even more work for me to do. I got to make like goblins walking around and a whole village that you can walk through.
It can still be simple. Like, think about it. You could just have a general background. You could have your playlist. You could swipe through, click it, make it to where we can't see any of the user interface you've got.
So we're just going to be sitting around a virtual table?
Yeah, sit around a virtual table, and wherever we get into like a town or a tavern, you can just put a table and put an NPC in front of us, or like
that could be kind of cool, I guess.
It's just bare bones, just like what we've got right now. You've got minis and you've got some squares on.
Yeah, it's got you got some ideas. I like them.
You think about Tabletop Simulator; it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Does that have a VR mode?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. It's already made.
Yeah, you could actually shrink yourself down onto the table, but it's kind of clunky and hard to use.
Interesting.
But the day that this happens, and I'm probably going to be a crotchety old man, and I will go straight into this. I don't care if I haven't played D&D in 40 billion years.
Back in my day,
you had to use your brain to think.
You're just crazy, Grandpa.
Now my chipmunk Frederick does it all for me.
We're going to have chipmunks
yeah.
DMs in the future?
No, chipmunks that are your brain.
I don't know if I follow. That sounds like a. What else you could do too is one of the final things that I could think about is, and this goes for anybody, learn how to share the spotlight. Don't be a hog. Don't hog the camera. But if you are someone who likes being the leader, obviously, they're usually it turns out to be a default leader every so often, and the guy who kind of makes the final decisions here and there. But still, let everyone have a moment to shine. Give other people the reins.
We talked about this really in depth, I think, on whatever, I don't know which episode it was. We've done one that has had this information in there, and we talked about, that might have been it. That was
someone I could think it would be.
Yeah. But I tend to be the one that gets most comfortable with their character right away, so I start being the spokesperson.
Yeah, you were pretty early on.
Yeah.
For both campaigns.
Yeah, I even tried to be mute for the beginning of this one.
I think that's a good
trying
call.
to be a good player. Trying to let my other people start speaking before I do.
Mm-hmm. And nowadays, it's pretty varied. Everyone kind of says stuff.
Things. I don't know what they say. They say stuff.
They've
gotten pretty active. There's one time, I think there was a session maybe like a month or two ago. It was a while before we got really into all of this like crazy stuff that's going on right now, where I pretty much just sat there the whole time. I was like, I can't get a word in.
Me as a dude, that's always fun. I can just sit back and take it easy and let you guys argue or conversate. It's fun times.
Yeah, it's the best when it gets to that point, but it takes a lot of time.
It does.
Getting comfy with your character.
That's okay. If you're a new DM or a new player, don't be up. Let's say you've been watching the Adventure Zone or Critical Role, these big name podcasts and shows. Don't be upset if your game isn't like that, especially early on, because most of those people were siblings, friends for a long time.
The McElroy's connection to each other and their ability to make jokes with themselves is immaculate. Also, if you're watching the Adventure Zone, And you have the situation that Brian presented, and you're kind of like, oh, why is my game not like that? I'm pretty sure that they write a lot of it together and they redo portions when it's not great. Like that's nearly a like a story, a TV show. It's very close to it.
Yeah, so don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up. Don't
it'll take time for you kind of get into the swing of things, and a lot of times you watch these shows, and it's good entertainment, it's great content, but it's just not the way that most of us play D&D, and that's more than okay. Everyone plays in their own way.
Make crazy choices.
Yeah, put yourself out there. Get nutty with it.
I'm referencing freaking Justin McElroy's choice of character and voice for the Adventure Zone, I think, graduation or whatever it's called. I'm not sure. But I don't know what he is, a forest person? I don't know the race. But he's talking like some sort of grumbly Russian guy.
Nice,
as opposed to Taco, where he talked like that. He's now, yes, I think this is a good idea. No, I don't do that. He's talking like that the whole time, and I cannot believe the audacity of this man, and it's working.
Yeah, I mean,
it's working.
Ballsy choices can make for some great storytelling.
Ballsy choices can also be severe normalcy.
Yeah.
You want to be a stereotype? You want to be a very cliche character? That's a-okay.
That's more
do you.
As long as you're enjoying yourself, that's the most important thing. I think the biggest thing you can do to be a good player is to enjoy yourself and make sure that the people at the table are enjoying themselves as well.
Yeah, that's the second part. Keep that tacked on to the first part.
Yeah, if everyone's having a fun time, then hey, you'll be coming back next week and hopefully having a fun time then too. A good escape from reality.
Rule. Help others have the fun that you want to have.
Yeah, facilitate that fun little table environment and become friends with everybody too. Not just as player, not just as characters, but as players too. Hang out outside the game, communicate, and I think it'll make the game that much stronger.
Yeah, and a great way as a DM to forge the bond between the other players is to kill their horse and pet owl.
Or just kill them. There you go. Solve all the problems.
See, we're pulling it out. You heard it here, guys. Brian is definitely trying to kill everybody. He killed my horse and
right into my trap.
He literally killed my horse and my owl.
The owl was a accident. The horse just happened to be in the middle of combat with a bunch of people. So
my horse came from a magical robe, and he was on a patch, and his name is Patches.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, yeah, he wasn't a real horse to begin with. So
he was real to me. He was real in my heart. I believed with my character's eyes.
Hex is still out there. The owl, his owl still exists because it's like a fey owl.
Yeah, I don't remember when or how I found that spell. It's a warlock spell, and it's basically find familiar, except it summons like 4 plus whatever spell slot it is of them for everyone. It's pretty cool. I like that.
You did like it.
Keep working on your character too. Always. Add stuff.
Your character's never finished. If it dies, then I guess it's finished.
I mean, death isn't the end.
Damn.
We get
unless you aren't the level where you can resurrect yet. So then, yeah, it is.
Use that line on your honey, whoever they are. You know, dungeon crawl into their DMs.
Whoa. I feel like that could be a sexual.
That was a pun on so many levels.
That's nasty.
Dungeon crawl into their DM.
What? That sounds oddly sexual, though.
I don't know, man. What gets your mind out of that place?
Do some role playing. Do some role playing in the bedroom. Yeah. Dungeon crawl on in.
If that's what you've decided on in your campaign, then...
Yeah, if you decide, I mean, relationships and Dungeons and Dragons pretty similar. You have a session 0, lay out all the stuff that's gonna happen with you and your relationship.
Send them a survey saying, "How do you want this to go down?"
Yeah, what are you thinking? How much role playing do you want to have?
What secrets do you have? What reason are you in this relationship with me?
What are you looking for in the future?
How much combat do you want there to be?
There you go. See?
More roleplay? Okay.
Yeah, more roleplay. All right, I can crank it up.
Perfect. I'm just thinking about the survey that I wrote.
Yeah, you wrote up a survey.
What difficulty is this? Do you want what kind of creatures?
What kind of creatures you looking for? What type of story do you want to have?
What kind of story here? You want heartbreak?
You want to adventure?
Walk on the beach.
Do you want to be exclusive? Do you want to play some other games too?
Oh damn. Oh boy. Can we get other people involved in this?
See? Look at that. It's the similarities are uncanny. I really think
uncanny.
You should bring relationships and Dungeons and Dragons into the same world.
You can test it out.
Yeah. Some player.
No. Guys, keep him accountable. He's got a significant other.
He does.
Now at this moment. It happened, I think, like last week or this week.
Something like that, yeah.
Last week. Something like that.
No, 2 weeks.
Keep an eye on him. Gotta keep him steady.
Gotta keep me honest.
Yeah. Any other things that you want to touch on for players?
No. I mean, that's about it. Have a good time.
Damn.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Have a good time and let others have a good time. I feel like I had more to say, but like I mentioned, my brain is very stream of thought, and it only, just like me.
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead recently.
What?
I have.
What? On PC?
Yeah. It just released,
I thought it
guys.
wasn't working.
Pick it up on Rockstar Games Launcher. Use code Dungeon Crawl.
Hold on. I thought it wasn't working.
What do you mean it's not working?
It had a rough start, I thought.
It did have a rough start, but it worked fine for me. I'm playing. I'm having a good time.
Is that why you got the new graphics card?
That's part of it. Yeah, I was like, man, I gotta see this game in its beauty.
Did you start it on your old one?
Yeah, I did.
How was that?
It wasn't terrible, but it's weird because I think because I played on the PS4 when the game first launched. I must have been, because there's no FPS like little dialogue box to see. I must have been hitting around 30 to 40 frames on like medium-ish settings, and then
below 60, I'm done.
Yeah, then I got this, and it was like night and day. It felt so. It's beautiful. He
got himself a 2060 Super.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game, man.
EVGA.
It's something else.
Man, I
recommend.
Okay. For those of you that care about Pokemon or spoilers or things that data miners find, turn this off again. Pokemon Sun or Sword and Shield spoilers. Pause it and then listen to it again at some point. I'll only talk about this for like a minute, maybe. Okay.
This is now our pop culture section of the podcast.
Sorry.
No, it's
plug
good.
your ears. That was a pop. So data miners have found out how many Pokemon they've cut from the national deck. Usually, because I don't think you play Pokemon.
Nope.
Every Pokemon is in every Pokemon game, all 800 something.
Oh, and they cut some for this one?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
For the tentpole release of a first console generation Pokemon game. Artistic design is phenomenal, but the graphics suck.
Oh, it's Pokemon.
Well, Pokemon's always been like pixel and like quirky and cool, but the second they get the better hardware, it's like, here's flat terrain with a grass texture on it at like 480p. Here's a tree that doesn't move and is dumb looking. And
the Switch can definitely handle the good quality stuff.
Oh, yeah. And they've been getting all these bullshit reasons like we want to focus on animations or this and that, but there's no evidence to support that. And most recently, we found out that they've removed a lot of the moves as well. And I would be fine with this if they were implementing other things to improve like they're saying, but they're not.
So the hype has kind of vanished.
It's Pokemon. It's the highest grossing media franchise in the world. It's going to sell Yes.
Oh my God. I mean, it has been around for what? A long time.
He's Googling. He does not believe me.
No, I'm actually trying to see when it came around. 1996. Wow.
Yep.
That's been around for
before we were born. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, I know you were excited for it.
I am, but I had the first thought today where I was like, maybe I just shouldn't buy it. But, you know, me being me and loving the design of Pokemon so much, I just like seeing the designs of things. And
yeah, you can play it on the go.
Pokemon Go. They should have named it that.
Yeah, that'd be a sick name for something.
Yeah. So we'll see when it comes out. You know, competitive games like Pokemon can be It's good to dumb things down or remove things so that it becomes more complex with tools that it has available. Like Magic, what they're doing right now is not dissimilar to standard in Magic, how things phase out, but the way they're going about it is all wrong. I don't know why.
Magic's in a bad place anyway, too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
What happened?
Standard, because they got Oko. He's turned everybody into elks. And it's funny, out of context, it sounds so weird, doesn't it? Oko's turned everybody into elks.
Well, shit.
Damn.
Somebody shovel these elks off the sidewalk. They're everywhere.
Yeah, too many elks. Too many problems.
Too many elks? You don't know that reference, do you?
No.
Too many
Is it
cooks?
a meme? I know too many cooks.
Yeah, too many cooks.
Yeah, there you are.
That's what I was referencing. There we go.
Well, you didn't have a little jingle with it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to chat about? I mean, we knew this was going to be a bit short because we talked about this before, so.
Yeah, we started a little bit late.
I have had so many issues with my PC. I changed the case. My God. But literally the only issue was that the power cable was not plugged in on my motherboard on the very top because it's hiding on my ROG Strix. And
what you say?
We're good now. It's okay.
ROG Strix?
Yeah, my Asus ROG Strix motherboard.
It's a nice motherboard. Does it have fun lights?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a GPU's got a fun light on it too. I like it. It's cool to look at.
Yeah, you do have the same one. You can control it too.
What?
It's like a blue that looks like you can't control it, right?
Mine's green, I think.
Okay, yeah, you can control it. For the longest time, I didn't know you could.
Where?
You just look up GeForce RTX blah blah blah.
What the heck?
Monitoring or managing.
I have lights in there too that I never have on, so I could turn them all to the same color.
Well, I used to have. And if any of you are PC savvy, let me know how and where to connect RGB fans on the motherboard. I'm sure there's RGB headers that I can do, but I don't know how to control them through that because I do have Corsair fans, but I'm only using one of them. And I think this case has a cool mesh in the front of it if it shows through.
No way.
Yes, but I don't feel like messing with it because I've had such a trouble.
Yeah, give it a rest for a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna just chill. It's working. It's looking great.
That's what matters at the end of the day. As long as things are working, running, boom. That's it.
Yeah. If your campaign's running, you're good.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. We're the Dungeon Crawl. As always, I'm Ryan.
I am Braxton. Please message us at the Dungeon Crawl Pod. Did I mess that up?
It depends where you're going. Which
at gmail.com.
That's right.
Hell yeah. What?
And at Dungeon Crawl Pod it's our Twitter.
Yeah.
And our Instagram, I believe.
I want to talk to you guys. I don't know how many of you listen or are active here. Yeah.
Tell us how you play your games.
Tell me how dumb warlocks are. I know.
They are very stupid.
But I love them. So good.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah, they're the most fun. It'll be hard for me to play an actual character that's not a warlock for one. I don't know when that'll happen. Like for a long period of time.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you did a fighter.
Yeah, but that was for one session.
Yeah, you did a good job with them, I thought.
I had fun.
How was I? How was I as a player?
You did good. I wanted to punch you.
Yeah, I had so many healing spells to try to heal you guys, and then quickly the table was turned, and I wasn't really friendly with you guys anymore.
I don't want to prepare spells every day. I only want several spells that I can only cast 2 per short rest.
Yeah, you don't need as much thought to go into it.
All right, friends. I don't know what we're doing next time. You'll find out. Good. Yeah, you better mark your calendar. Well, can we see that day? Where are we at?
It'll be the 19th.
19th. Remember 19th, mark that calendar. That's going to be a good episode.
19th, 7 a.m. CST. It'll be the best podcast you ever listened to your entire life.
Ever. My stomach just made a noise.
Cranking up too high now.
No.
It'll be the most mediocre podcast you ever hear. There you go.
It will be a podcast.
Hell yeah.
In the ever-expanding universe of podcasts. Again, 5-star on iTunes.
That'd be great.
That'd be
Love you.
Love you too.